Hello, everyone. We are very excited to be here today and see so many people and have this opportunity to share with you what we have brought to you.
Yeah.
So my name is Tiziano, and this is my colleague Giulia.
Hi.
And before we begin, we'd like to point out something, because there is many designers here, as I'm, as I might understand, and the presentations so far were terrific. The design was amazing. We are not designers, so our presentation won't be as
So sorry.
beautiful as yours. So maybe you can give us a feedback on how to improve. So
Yeah.
sorry about that. But anyway, so we are from A2A, which for those who don't know, it's a multi-utility company. But before talking about the company, we'd like to give you a little, a brief background on what we do in the company. So I am a junior solution architect and tech lead, which means that basically I try to make sure that the technical solutions that are chosen for the products or the projects are deployed as required, and pretty much trying to keep the tech team always on the same page.
And I'm Giulia Moraglia. I'm a digital project manager and a business development analyst. And basically, my mission is to ensure the quality on our digital touch points. First of all, websites and our new app, My A2A.
And so before going to the core of the speech, we'd like to give you a little background about the company for those who haven't heard of it. So again, it's a multi-utility company, and we go from producing, distributing, and selling energy and gas to smart infrastructures, smart cities, smart mobility. So there is a lot around our ecosystem, but mostly we are focused on energy, environment, and smart infrastructures. And of course, we are all aware of the context that we live in regarding energy supplies, etc. So of course, we are very keen in invest. We were already, but we are even more keen in investing in renewable energies. We are also, I haven't mentioned, a waste management company. So we produce energy from the waste that we collect, basically. And then what drives the infrastructures that bring the water from the dam to your houses and the energy from the plant to your premises is for sure the digital and smart, let's say, technologies. So this is a few numbers about the group of A2A, just to give you an idea of it, and also to understand better the focus of the presentation after. So it's a big group. It gathers more than 25 companies. The revenues last year stood about 12 billion euros, and it employs around 13,000 people. And fun fact about the company is that currently the offices where we work in, actually, they are an historic building because it was founded in 1883, and it was the first ever energetic power plant in Europe and the second in the world. Very few people know that the first power plant in Europe was in Milan, and it's our offices right now. They're going to be renovated. We are about to be kicked out of the building because they're making a museum there, and we are going to be moved to a new headquarters. So the core is A2A Energia, which is A2A Energy. That is the commercial part, so selling energy and distributing energy services. So the focus is energy and gas, energy-related services, but we also have, since a few years, a department devoted to smart mobility and energy efficiency services. Now, I mentioned that we are a very old company in the sense that the roots date back to the 19th century. So you can imagine how this has influenced the way that the company was organized up until today. Very traditional, very top-bottom. But we live in a context in which we have to be fast. Like climate changes, we're already putting a lot of pressure on energy companies, and nowadays in Europe even more with all the events that we are aware of. So we needed a switch in the paradigm. Like we needed to be faster. We needed to be more efficient. So we, first of all, at like corporate level, they tripled the investments in innovation for the upcoming years. More than 1,300,000,000 euros are gonna be invested in the company and go towards innovation. But this also meant that the whole of the innovation and digital innovation part of the company had to be somehow redesigned. So we came up with a new digital task force. We started with one of the companies of the group, the one I was mentioning before, A2A Energia. And we tried to reinvent the way that the business collaborates with the IT, because most of the solutions, they clearly involve primarily the IT part. And basically what we did is that we switched from a typical waterfall type of management to agile. Now, agile is not like that innovative per se, because it has been around for quite a while. But you can imagine how agile might affect a company that is so traditional and that how it has always done things in a certain way. Talking about change management, talking about a switch in like culture. Someone was mentioning this morning, I think it was Atlassian, they were mentioning the culture of innovation. We had, like, of course the company was already innovating a lot, but we needed to be faster and we needed to help the parts involved to, change. So before going deeper with Giulia, I'd like to show you a brief video of how our colleagues, not us specifically, because we arrived like
relatively new and
literally right after the unit was already like put in place. But like I can show you, I would like to show you a video of how they came up with this new unit. Play. And you can see the hardest thing to do here was to put on a timer. 3 people were required to put on a timer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A big team for a unique goal.
Yeah. Like the idea that we want to convey with this video is that we actually have a lot of fun. Like it's really, really nice. Like I love being part of it, and it's very like they were really trying to keep the team very diverse. We're all very different people from each other, and that's why I think we puzzle so well, or we match so well together. So
And was a travel from our offices to EBM Studios for the first presentation?
for the first
last year?
presentation towards the management, yes. So
Yeah.
Talking about the method, I'd like to leave the word to my colleague,
Okay.
who's going to tell you about the method that we use.
So that now we have seen this video, and the question is how the A2A Digital Task Force work. Let's start with the primary need today for large companies, namely digital positioning or digital identity. Digital positioning is now a key factor for the industry, and it's understood that to achieve this, the agile approaches are the best way to goal this primary need of customer. In fact, our model is a customer-centric model with the 4 pillars. The first, as I said, is the customer centricity, so the need to understand really in deep the customer needs and problems in everyday life, so being careful of what happened on the web, what Zeta generation is aiming at. The second is the lean startup approach, suitable for launching products and services in an iterative way, so in an agile way. The third is digital product management. This practice makes an extensive use of MVPs, minimum viable products, with a YODA approach, so your own data. And the fourth is a product-led the desire to be a product-led organization. What does it mean? The value of a service or product passes always from the reciprocity between the firms, so the industry that want to understand the customer, and then the willingness of the customer to spend the money for these services. So product-led organization want to create a value exchange system from both the customer and the industry. When we understand a problem, a digital problem, is better saying, how we trying to solve it. Now with our digital task force, we can say that it's a process that usually goes through 3 stages. The first is the phase of envisioning, the second is the discovery and delivery phase, and the last is the governance phase. But it's not the last phase, because the governance oversee all the activities during discovery and delivery phases. The envisioning phase, as I said, clarify, so serves to clarify the contours of our multiple internal from our colleagues and external inputs. First of all, it's necessary identifying challenges, so defining a research protocol with the user researches, and if it's possible, now we hope that pandemic is to end, and is now possible meeting a little bit more customers, and this is the best for us, because with this practice we can analyze their needs and behaviors. Then propose, so understand the signs, the signals to define the possible future trends, and define strategic initiatives to respond to the present, but the future needs. We can say we always look into the future and what the Zeta generation is aiming at. And finally, plan a roadmap. I'm a digital project manager, so this is a task especially for me. Always with the budget that the company gave me this year. So we try to do the best. The second phase is discovery delivery phase. That is a phase that is possible thanks to our partners like Hinto and Deloitte, many others. And in this phase, there are the protagonist, I don't know if in English is correct, the MVPs. MVPs can be qualitative and quantitative. Qualitative MVPs do not require development, software development. We use a lot qualitative MVPs, such an explanatory video, and this type of MVP permit to us to understand before the launch on the market of a product or services if is really of interest for our customer or not. So came back eventually. And the quantity MVP limit the software development to only features necessary to developing a little piece of our idea or product. Of course, to oversee this phase, there is always the agile methodology with their ceremonies, planning, daily scrum, review, retrospective, you know, of course. And then with Tiziano, he will show you how these ceremonies may be boring many times, but useful for create a project, really. And at last, the governance phase, as I said before, it's a phase that governs the activities during all the time. I've said many things. There are still many things to say, but I want to try to pull the strings, saying that basically this unit was born to face the challenges of the energy world, our world, now so current, in a different way, especially if we want to meet with younger people, accustomed as they are to think in a more global way. We believe in the agile approach because we think that no one is left out of the process, even if two colleagues has different tasks. For example, me, I'm a digital project manager, but I work with a designer, completely different task, but we are in the same project. And no one lost the global vision of the process, even if the ability of one person in the team was useful at the first of the process, and at the end is not necessary process, but he don't lost never the end of the process, how it's gone, and that's it. So everything is shared, basically. We put in this slide one testimony for unanimous opinions of many colleagues that works in A2A before us, because as I said earlier, we are relatively new entries, only 1 year in A2A, and Rossana is a product specialist, say that the first thing that comes to her mind is the speed with the agile approach, respect of the waterfall approach, the fact that the barrier of months-long changes also with our providers has been overcome, and everything is done faster. Okay, so now I would like to leave the word to Tiziano, that I hope that he will show you how my words are not only words, but a concrete method to create a project, obviously born from a need of our customer, save money. And you know, now energy world is so current.
Thank you, Giulia. So, as I was mentioning before, A2A Energia is the company that is the closest to our customers because it's the one that sells energy. And since we have started this creation of this new paradigm from a company that is so customer centric, the project that I'm gonna talk about also is towards that direction. So nowadays, the clients of A2A, they have an app, just like many others, that is called My A2A, that serves for having general information about their contract, paying bills, asking support, and so on. But we have created a prototype of an enhancement of this app that would help the clients to basically save money on their energy bills and have a general better awareness about their consumption habits. And you can understand why this is so relevant nowadays. If it was before, but now even more. So there is a lot to say about the project itself, because there is a lot of IoT involved, there is a lot of algorithms, there is a lot of cool stuff, but we're going to focus on the methodology and how this helped in deploying the product. So the project was divided into 3 main phases. So pretty straightforward: design thinking, prototyping, testing, and scaling. It doesn't need much explanation. Design thinking, we saw what our competitors were doing, if they were already providing this functionality in their apps, if it was in the same way as we intended it, and then we came up with our unique value proposition. So then we moved on to the prototyping, which is creating the MVP itself. So this is where actually the real core of the agile methodology could be used. And then we went on to testing and later scaling, which is basically making sure that the MVP is reliable enough to be tested among actual A2A clients. So regarding design thinking, using the agile methodology, the pros of using the agile methodology is that in a traditional setting, what you would have is that the business, they gather together, they have the requirements from above or from the market or whatever, and they do their reasoning, and they come up with their value proposition, and not necessarily they involve the tech team. So what this means is that not involving necessarily the tech team could lead, for example, the business to move towards more, let's say, hazardous decision when it comes to the technology that has to be used for the specific solution. Or, for example, they might, on the other hand, overestimate the technical effort of something and decide to keep aside a solution that maybe could have been easily implemented.
This happened very often.
And this happened very often. But agile, one of the core principles of agile is to have everyone always on the same table, always updated. So the tech team is also part of the design thinking, and it can help to prevent all the things that I have just mentioned, and help the business to find actually new innovative solutions, and maybe share with them like new technologies that they might not be even aware of. Then, going to the prototyping, we try to sum up the main pros, which could be found in superior quality of the products, reduced risk, continuous improvement, and general better customer satisfaction. Because agile is very focused on having the client as part of the decision-making process. At the end of the day, you are going to come up with, or you hope you're going to come up with a better quality product. Also because you have this feedback back and forth forth from tech team, business, clients. So in theory, you should come up with a better product. Reduced risk, because since you're deploying like little by little, step by step parts of the project, when you are delivering that incremental part, in theory, it should be already flawless and bug free. So in theory, all the agile projects are they are risk-free, let's say. Like in the end of the day, when you deliver the whole project, maybe what you could do is like do some implementation, some marginal changes, but like in general, it should be resilient. Continuous improvement, because you always have these retrospective ceremonies in which the team talks about what went wrong, what went well, what could be improved, and so on. And customer satisfaction, for the reason that I have just mentioned. So we went on asking Giuseppe and Davide, who are respectively the product owner and the scrum master of the project My Energy, what they thought about using this methodology and how this was different from what they had always worked as. So we asked Giuseppe what he thinks are the main pros, and he thinks that the collaboration between the business and the IT for sure has bettered. Like there is constant feedback, and the feedbacks are very transparent because there is a different relationship that is created between the business and the IT, and also the tasks are delivered faster. Then he thinks that Agile doesn't necessarily deliver a better quality product. He just thinks that given a certain time span, if you work in Agile, you can achieve the same quality earlier than Waterfall. So in the same time span, you're gonna end up having a better product using Agile. But of course, using Waterfall, you could achieve the same quality, maybe just in a longer time. And then we asked him if he felt his role as a product owner was relevant, and he said yes, especially in the beginning, because the product owner is basically the person that is let's say, the connection between the sponsors, so basically who puts the money in the project, and the operational team. And so they make sure that this is, the solution is complying. Davide thinks that working in Agile, the cons is that in the practice, since you have to have everyone always on the same page, it's hard to keep people in meetings. Like it's hard to have them always on board because they might be already busy in other projects. Like unfortunately, not everyone works in Agile in our company. Not everyone can be always involved. Main strength, this continuous improvement, and he prefers working in Agile because things are delivered faster and there is continuous improvement. And also you can always change direction according to new requirements that can come all along. Now, this was a very brief overview of Agile and how this could be used in a traditional company. But the thing is that we are a very big company and we want to share this model with all the other business units. We have started with A2A Energia because it's relatively the safest place to start from, because we are, changing the paradigm and all. So if we make a mistake in an application, a mobile application, it's bad for customers.
Earn money.
But it's all right. But imagine putting Agile and trying to find how to put
accounting.
And like where, I don't know, in power plants where you produce energy, where you have gas, where you have managing dams or whatever. So like it's interesting to see whether we will be able to export this model.
There are a lot of work to do.
There is a lot of work to do, exactly, indeed. So this is the innovative aspect of it, is like a very big traditional company that is completely like redesigning it the way that it has always worked in order to be faster and try to be good at winning the goals of today's scenario. We are open. This is our LinkedIn's if you want to get in touch and
pass to the dark side.
There is a lot to do, and that's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.